Malaysians. The Malaysian pair, 3 years ago, were quarter-finalists here at their home event. Lost out to Bao Sin and Chong Xian Sin, and had to retire in the second game, having lost the first. And incidentally, they had a walkover in the second round. They won one match, got to the quarter-final. They're a very interesting pair, in my opinion, Vivian Hu and Woon Ki Wei. Always seem to come good for the major events. Bronze medalists at the Asian Games last year, of course, gold medal at the Commonwealth Games last year in Glasgow. And, of course, in 2013, won gold at the Southeast Asian Games. That's the only 3 titles they've ever won, and all in major competitions. Of course, they didn't win it at the Asian Games, did they? I don't know what I'm talking about. It was the Indonesian Grand Prix where they won back in 2011. So Vivian Hu, the 26-year-old, turned 26 16 days ago. And her ambition, she tells me, is to be a successful businesswoman when she retires from badminton. World ranking down 2 places this week, down to number 18. They have been as high as 12. And their win-loss record for the year, well, they reached the final of the India Grand Prix Gold event in Lucknow. Lost out to their teammates Anseli and Song, who were, until a little earlier today, the only other Malaysians surviving in this year's Maybank Malaysia Open. But they lost to the German pair of Hertrick and Michels a little earlier on, so it means that Woon Ki Wei and Vivian Hu, the last remaining Malaysians. Now, who would have thought that a year ago, that we'd be saying that at the Malaysian Open? So to the Indonesian pair, and what a sensation they've been so far. Anggia Awanda, 20 years of age, from Bekasi in West Java. She'll turn 21 next month. And the win-loss record for the year translates into winning the Vietnam International Challenge a couple of weeks ago. In fact, it's not quite as long as a couple of weeks, is it? Because we're only on Thursday today, and it was a week ago last Sunday. Her partner is also 20 years of age. World ranking, don't pay any attention to that, up 26 places to 113. They've only got 4 tournaments towards their world ranking, so totally unrealistic. This is, as we look at our court officials for this one, this is their first ever Premier Super Series event, but we really need to make mention of the fact that they've come through 2 qualifying rounds before beating the number 2 seeds, Pedersen and Mahadewi,
Ketut, and Awanda, Indonesia, and on my left, Vivian Hu and Kelvin Bun, Malaysia. Kelvin Bun to serve to Ketut. Level play.
So Kraising Dongtap from Thailand. The umpire calls for play to get underway. The Malaysians nearest to us. Left and right-handed combination.
1 love.
Well, this is the second meeting between these 2 pairs. First meeting was in the first round of the Malaysian Grand Prix gold in January earlier this year, won by the Malaysians in 2 straight games, but it was quite close in the opening game, 22-20, 21-12. Now let's go back to that sensational match that the Indonesians had yesterday against Christina Pedersen and Camilla Ruta-Yul. Of course, the Danes not only the #2 seeds, but they were former champions here, having won the title 3 years ago. I mean, it was an extraordinary result, 21-18, 21-9.
Well, Jill, I think again it's an example of, you know, confidence. The last couple of weeks they've played a lot of matches together, and even though the challenger, the Vietnamese challenger, is a lower level tournament, you know, they've gone through, they've won 5 matches, they've won their first title together, then they've come here, they've played 2 matches in the qualifying, got used to the conditions, couple more wins, and they've gone into it with nothing to lose, and they played a great match.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. And I think that the development path of sending players to challenger events and then some Grand Prix golds and then eventually stepping up to the Super Series, I like that, because at the point that you've just made, you gain confidence from the win, but you also get used to knowing how to win. If you just go into the Super Series events and, you know, you lose first round, you may have some good matches, but if you keep losing the whole time, it becomes a habit, whereas it's good to learn how to win.
Exactly, and it is something, you know, all these players here at this level, at Super Series level, they can all play. They're all really, really good players, technically, tactically, but not all of them can win. You know, and that's the difference in the end. It's that mental side of the game that you have to learn by actually being in those situations repetitively. But this is an interesting match. I mean, there's pressure on both pairs for different reasons, aren't they?
Yeah.
Malaysian pair, last Malaysian hoped. Maybe under a little bit of pressure in that situation. And the Indonesian pair, having had the good win, maybe they've got, you know, high expectations that they can do it again today. It'd be interesting to see how this one pans out.
Nice drop shot. Oh, that's a lovely angle from Vivian, who that's well spotted.
5-4.
Yeah, and that's a set play. Why can she go across there? Well, because she's playing with a left-hander. She's putting it in front of her partner's forehand.
Yeah.
Here we see it, the left-hander comes forward. If it had come back, it was right on her forehand anyway. Nice set play, good use of the left and right hand. Possible inexperience from the Indonesians there as well. Just they both looked at it, they both thought the call was wrong, and they probably haven't realised they've never played on a TV court, I wouldn't think.
No.
Probably forgotten that they've got a challenge available.
Oh, I like that defence.
Oh.
Net cord from Woon Ki Wei. Malaysians, one celebrated a birthday on the 19th of March, the other one on the 18th of March. 1 year apart, though. 25 and
9,
26, the
4.
Malaysians.
Yeah, here we're seeing what Woon does so well. It's a very good serve, left-handed, comes at a slightly different angle. And she serves it a little bit across the opponent there, just to try and encourage them to play back to a forehand side. It's good tactics.
Serve it over, 5-9.
Yes, good decision from Ketut. Yeah, she missed that one, so
Serve it over, 10-5.
I have to be honest, I haven't really seen her play before. I've seen Awanda many times. Of course, she played 4 tournaments back in 2013 with Gracia Polly, and then she had a very nice partnership with Della Destiara Harris.
Well, she's got a lot more experience, certainly. It was a great run she had in the World Champs last year.
Wasn't it extraordinary? Beating, of course, the #1 seeds. Playing with Della Destiara Harris, beat the #1 seeds, Bao Yi-sin and Tang Jinhua in the last 32, which was the Chinese pair's first match. Jeremy Gang. Doing the coaching there.
Hot 1, 20 seconds. Hot 1, 20 seconds. Ready to play?
And the coach calls Pang.
Play.
That's good. That's when the Malaysians look good, when they're getting the shuttle going down. Nice combination play again, using the right and left-handed combination very well there. At the moment, they're winning the serve and return situations, getting a lot of the attack, and certainly that's when they're most dangerous.
Yeah, 2 smashes down that side, hoping for the defensive shaft into the hitting range of the left-hander. Oh, indecision. Do you know, the line judge actually indicated before the shuttle was landing that it was going to go wide. How on earth, why on earth did she play that? Look, she's going to leave it. Look at the line judge.
That was going miles out, miles out.
Goodness me.
Good indication of the nerves in this match, though, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, it's a switch. Yesterday's match was a match to nothing. They've come through qualifying, playing the second seeds, go on, play free. And then suddenly you're beating the second seeds and you think, oh, can, you know, can we do this again? Can we follow it up? You know, and they look as though they're putting themselves under a little bit of pressure here.
Oh, that's nice, like that.
Yeah, there's been a clear change of tactics since the mid-game interval.
5.
They've been pushing the left-hander more, Hoon more into the rear court. That's been getting them more into the rallies. Been able to extend the rallies, keeping her off her favoured forecourt position. So maybe they can work their way into this game.
Serve it over.
Oh, she won't be happy with that serve, no. The signs they're settling in more, though.
Yeah, I think they're starting to think a little bit more. They're starting to follow a clear tactic. They're pushing the left-hander Hoon off the net. and then looking to attack into her body, which is a known sort of weakness of hers. So yeah, they're starting to think, they're starting to play the rallies out, but they need a run of points really, just to completely settle themselves. Yeah, that's a simple error again really, under no pressure on the mid-court.
15-7.
Nicely forward by Woon Ki-wei.
15-7. Woo, woo.
Yeah, that's good. That's what she likes to do. Hit one down that left-hand side, follow it in on the forehand side, and that's the strength of her game, getting in on that forecourt.
Well, just warned by the umpire, we saw right at the end of that she showed a fist to her opponents, and the umpire saying, just watch that. You know, I wonder, I'm just trying to think here about the Indonesian women's doubles players. I can't think of a left-hander, can you? So they're probably not used to playing against a left and right-handed combination, because the number of times I think they've been caught out by those set plays that you've been talking about. Do you think that's a viable sort of reason as to... Oh, service fault called.
Come here.
Racket not pointing in a downward direction, says Trish Gubb of New Zealand.
I think that's a good point, Jill. I'm just trying to think. I was actually in the Indonesian National Centre a couple of months ago, and you're right, I just can't think of a left-hander.
No. Yeah, there's the set play again, the smash across court.
18.
And your point that you made earlier, you can afford to do that when your partner is a left-hander. It'd be awfully dangerous if your partner was a right-hander.
Yeah, no, it's a set play. They've played together a long time. They know each other's games and strengths very, very well. And they use them well when they're given chances to dictate the rallies as they are doing here. It's a little bit sad for the Indonesians. They're playing the odd good point, aren't they? But they can't string 2 or 3 together that you feel would really get them into the match. They're just on the edge of the game at the moment.
Yeah. The low serve deflected by the net cord and landing way short.
Another good example. One with a good rally and then a mistake on service. No rhythm.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well taken from Vivian, who
20, game point 9.
jumps to the round the head position, straight smash, and with it comes a whole host of game point opportunities.
Game.
One will do. 21-9
First game won by
in just 14
Vivian
minutes.
Moon and Vivian Woon. 21-9.
The Malaysians looking very sharp in that opening game. Minutes. Is that Anggia?
It is, yep.
Yeah.
First over.
Wasn't he coaching? Where was he coaching before?
He was in Singapore, but he's been back in Indonesia now since the middle of last year. But he had a few years in Singapore as national coach over there. No, he was a good front court player.
Yeah, he certainly was. It's interesting strapping on the leg of Woon Ki Wei, isn't it? That pink strapping on her leg.
Hot 1, 20 seconds. Hot 1, 20 seconds.
It's something she's worn for a while though.
Well, the Malaysians, 1 game to the good, totally
Second game.
dominated in game
Love
number 1,
all,
21-9. Can they keep that good form going?
Serve it over. 1 love. Oh. 2 love.
Oh, it's a good smash.
Serve it over.
Great angle
1,
on the smash
2.
there. Didn't try and hit it too hard, got it going down very steeply. Almost in front of the defender. Well placed. You've still got the feeling the young Indonesian pair just haven't settled in this game, have they? And the Malaysian pair have been very efficient at getting their own game going. They're able to impose off the serve and return situations and use that right hand, left hand combination to really good effect.
Oh, that's nice. Very nice. Oh, there's a challenge here.
Raja signal, please. Sorry.
Well, it was called in,
Vivian, Kumun.
but the Malaysians begged to differ. I thought that was well in.
Raja,
But I'm not going to make any more
on in.
predictions, Ian.
I was just going to say, be careful, Jill. You're not on form. But no, it did. I mean, we both sort of, well, you said it straight away, good shot.
Yeah.
And it felt good. I don't know if you see what I mean.
Correction, out.
Oh,
Oh, that's a yep.
5,
there,
2.
there you go, Ian.
Our form continues.
Oh, that's a very good challenge. And that's a very good smash.
Yeah, it's a good rally, but can they follow it up and get 2 or 3 of these
Serve it
consecutively?
over.
Get a
3,
foothold in this game.
5.
Oh, that is delightful from Awanda.
4, 5.
Yeah, this is really nice. See this, just pushing past the left-hander at the net there, finding that space on the mid-court. That's good thinking.
Awanda is definitely the more creative of the 2 players, isn't she? But going back to the point we were making during the men's doubles, I mean, that seems to be a trait of the Indonesians. You have one that's creative from the front of the court and the other one's a good worker.
And I think the other situation that's similar as well is that, again, with the ladies doubles, the Indonesians, they've got a very established
Change, please.
first pair, top pair that won the Asian Championships,
Yeah.
well established, and they feel that gives them the flexibility to switch around the pairs behind, looking for a strong second combination.
Yeah, Well, I tell you, I think they've got 3 or 4 pairs in the women's doubles now. Some of the youngsters coming up behind Gracia Polly and Maswari.
Service over.
Well, like I say, I was in the centre a couple of months ago, and I was really impressed with the group of ladies doubles players, and the level of the training was impressive. And there's clearly very, very strong competition within that group that's driving the level upwards at the moment.
7-5.
Yeah, well taken coming forward. Now she showed her fist again after the rally. And you're allowed to do that in celebration as long as you're not looking at your opponents, because that's seen as a sign of aggression.
Yeah, just another nice demonstration, that left-right hand combination.
Service over. 6-8. Service over. 9-6.
I have just thought of another point that actually sort of kills one of the discussions we had earlier on, actually, Jill.
Go for it.
They beat the number 2 seeds last night, who were a left-hand, right-hand combination. So
Yeah.
Maybe they should be dealing with this a little bit better, and maybe it just shows the extra nerves and the expectation of having beaten a top pair. You know, maybe they're putting pressure on themselves here.
Yeah, good point.
Ten, 6.
Good return of serve.
Over. 7-10.
It is. That was much more positive.
Yeah.
In at the body, cutting the angles down, making it more difficult for their opponents.
Now, I know there's been a directive from the BWF about play being continuous. We're potentially 1 point away from the mid-game interval, and the players are allowed to towel break, take on board some liquid, little time out, whatever way you look at it, for whatever reason. And that's what I don't understand. That's a nice return of serve. Ooh, racket's gone.
8-10.
Yeah, broken string, but again, they were looking for that set play. This is going to be the cross smash. Setting up a left-handed partner again.
Nice variation on the low serve there, serving out wider. Oh, that's beautiful defensive shot from Awanda.
10 on.
Well, as you said, Jill, she's the more creative of the two players, and there she didn't fall into the trap of playing straight to the left-hander, turned it away from the left-hander, and the left-hander was actually left stranded there.
Yeah,
anticipating a forehand side and super skill to turn it across her.
So 10 all. Yeah, that's delightful too. She does have that wonderful touch and also wonderful vision to see where the gaps are, and that's a run of 5 straight points by the Indonesians from 6-10 down to go to the mid-game interval with a 1-point advantage. And are we about to see a change in momentum? Well, it's a little early to be passing judgment on that. But again, something else I've noticed about this match. Both players wearing black shirts. Now, I know they've got different coloured shorts on, or skirts. One of them's wearing a skirt, I think. Yes, it's Woon Ki Wei. But remind me of the rule book. Is it different coloured shirts, or is it just different coloured kit altogether, and different coloured shorts is differentiates enough?
No, I think it is I think you're right, it is the shirts.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's an actual rule. I think it's a directive, isn't it? It's a directive to referees.
I thought in Super Series events that they had to be discernibly different colours of the two pairs.
I agree at Super Series level. That's why I think it's not an actual rule book, because it's for one particular level. It's in the regulations for Super Series, so it's not an actual law.
But that would suggest that something should have been done before the start of this match. But let's forget about that and enjoy the badminton.
12-11.
Nice variety there on service. Again, stepping into the forecourt, taking advantage.
Well, the 3 points since the mid-game interval have all gone to the Malaysians. Definitely a little premature for me to start talking about perhaps a change in momentum.
I think the mid-game interval came at a good time for the Malaysians. Indonesians on a little bit of a roll, and it's maybe just stopped their momentum a little bit.
Service over. 12-13.
This is an important point. Oh, well, pity it ended on an error.
14-12.
Yeah, you're right. The Indonesians had defended very well, using a lot more block defence in that rally. Managed to turn the situation, take the attack, and then really that's an unforced error from the rear court, you have to say. Disappointed with that one.
Yeah, she wasn't really on balance, was she?
No, strange really. A lot of time, the lift was high.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, having some success with that return push to the centre, aren't they?
Very much so. How do you stop that? Do you vary the serve? Perhaps some of the low serves are a little further out wide, so that, you know, well, just mixing it up, but it takes longer to get back towards the centre. Besides which, if you serve out wide, the tendency is to play straight down the line.
Yeah, exactly right. Change the angles, make it more difficult for them to use that tactic.
Service over. 15-13.
Yeah, nice.
Service over.
Yeah, again, saw the space.
15.
Good vision. broke the combination of the Malaysian pair. Just have the feeling the Malaysians are just getting a little bit nervous as they get close to the finishing line.
Thank you.
Oh, do you know, I very, very nearly verbalised and said you need a good serve here.
14.
It's been repetitive in the match, isn't it? They've just played a couple of good points. We're just talking about maybe there's a little bit of pressure coming on the Malaysian pair, and they've released that pressure just with that service error.
It's a good return, so.
Yeah, better play from the rear court actually. Didn't go for the big smash, kept the shuttle going down, was more patient. And in the end, it's the Malaysians that make the mistake here. Didn't try and hit that too hard, hit it off the defence, didn't hit into the backhand defence that she was setting up for. It's good play.
So back level.
16 on.
Like I say, Jill, I just think the Malaysians are getting a little bit nervous as they get close. I think they're getting ahead of themselves a little bit. They just need to refocus, just play 1 point at a time. I think they're playing the scoreboard a little bit at the moment.
Oh, at this crucial stage, the qualifiers from Indonesia go into the lead. Oh, that's wide.
7 over. 17.
Again, that was a real opportunity. She took it early. Had the chance to make the Malaysians late there, and she just pushed it out the side.
Oh, good defence. Oh! Well, the defensive shot from Awanda.
17.
Well, we're only seeing the defensive shot there, but she was really ready for that cross-court smash this time.
Yeah.
You know, she's been beaten with it a few times during the match, but she read it there, stepped into it, took it early, switched the play to really good effect.
Yeah, and I like the fact that despite getting caught with it earlier on in the match, she's now thinking, she's now ready for it. It shows that the players are learning even in the middle of a match.
Yep. Maybe just settling down, but I think the next couple of points are going to be nervy on both sides of the net.
Oh, didn't she touch that? No, couldn't have done. No call from the umpire.
18
And she certainly tried to touch it.
Yeah, didn't mean to leave it at all. That was a good... Missed it. And it went long, it was too flat. So 18 all.
Yeah, I think they needed that one.
That's good. Oh, my goodness. How on earth? Brilliant. What a rally. Oh, it's gone wide.
Service over.
Well, the dive early on in that rally from Awanda. There it was. Got herself back up, carried on. What a rally.
Again, we're just seeing the Indonesians use a little bit more block defence, and it's actually causing the Malaysians a few problems. It's making their court a lot bigger. There we see it, look. Nice block defence, which changes the attack.
2 points away now from this second game, and look at the celebrations. Now that bothers me a little bit, that they're still needing 2 points, but exuberant celebrations before the job is done.
Yeah, well, I think they actually probably lost that point 3 or 4 times, actually, so I think they're celebrating the fact, you know, that they dug in, kept themselves in it, fighting hard, just geeing themselves up. It is the sort of point that can change momentum in these matches.
Yeah. It's going wide. And now 2 game point opportunities for the Indonesians. Awanda and Ketut. And first time of asking. And reason to celebrate now for the Indonesian youngsters.
And Andra win Istirani Ketut 21-18.
21-18 confirms the umpire. What a good couple of rallies at the end of that second game. It is indeed 1 game all. Oh, I know it's difficult to make out what's being said, or we don't understand Bahasa anyway. Or maybe you do now, living here in Malaysia. But he's definitely saying something about the defence and moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's telling them they need to mix the defence up. If they're going to the rear court, use width to the rear court, and that opens the space up to use the block the second time, so they make the court as big as possible and not trying to hit through the left-hander. But I think, you know, it's the Malaysian coaches that are probably going to have to work harder at the end of that, because I think the Malaysian pair definitely had the opportunities to win that in two games. They had the opportunity to finish that off, and they just got a little bit nervy, I felt. And now the coaches are going to have to work hard, get them refocused, because they've got the tactics to win this game. And they just went away from their tactics, and that's, you know, just for a couple of minutes, and that's all it took to change the momentum.
Yeah, good points.
The other big thing, Jill, there was, I mean, you've been talking about it all the way through the first 2 games. Awanda, some lovely touches, clearly a very talented player, but Ketut there, her partner, really stepped up in the second game, cut down the errors, played with a little bit more margin, started to get the confidence to use some more blocks in defence. And I think that gave her, you know, that had that spiral effect where they both started to gain confidence from that.
Yeah.
Too loud. Serve it over. One,
Yeah, they
two.
work well as a pair. You'd never guess that they're such a new combination, the young Indonesians.
Yeah, but as we said, last couple of weeks, you know, probably what, 10 matches?
Yeah.
Well, what would it be? Nine matches and 9 wins, you know. You learn to work around each other when you're playing that number of matches in tournament play.
Two on. Serve it over. 3,
Well,
2.
it's interesting. I mean, that opening game, Malaysians were doing all the attacking. That last run, it was the Indonesians doing all the attacking.
I think that will be a definite coaching point from the Malaysian coaches, just to relax a little bit, play some rallies out, play with a little bit of patience, and use width in the rear court, because from the rear court, the Indonesians, yeah, they keep the shuttle going down, but there's no real penetration. You're not going to be surprised from the rear court. There again, they started in defence, set the play up, and were able to use the block, switch it, and there's space on the other side for the winning smash. More patient approach.
I think I might have had a challenge there. But as you rightly pointed out, I think it was in the opening game. They've probably never played where they've had the ability to challenge. It's that use of the mid-court area. It's played with disguise. It's played with precision. It really is delightful.
Yeah, lovely touch. And again, more patience there. Signs of a more patient approach from the Malaysian pair. Not trying to hit that too hard, just bringing the shuttle down, letting the Indonesians make the mistake.
Yeah, it landed in anyway, but fault called by the umpire. Wonky Way must have touched the shuttle before it landed out. Well, it landed in. What am I talking about? Landed in anyway. Oh, another challenge here. Back line.
Challenge on in.
Well, first time they challenged, they were correct, the Malaysians. Here we go. Yeah, line judge was correct. So the Malaysians only have one challenge remaining.
5 on. 1 challenge remaining. Play.
Oh, what a lovely drop shot from Ketut.
6, 5.
3 straight points and into the lead, the Indonesians.
Service over. 6 on.
Oh, look at that delightful skill. Yeah, that lovely little
Service
touch
over.
shot, blocking the
7,
shuttle back to the net
6.
by Awanda.
Well, it was a great block, but the follow-up was good as well. That's a very athletic smash. Getting up round the head there. That's really good.
Yeah. Oh, it's an exciting prospect, isn't it, this Indonesian pair, whether they win or lose today's match. It's gone well wide.
8, 6.
Oh,
Service over.
well,
7, 8.
going for the open space across court.
Yeah, just trying to do too much here. Straight would have done, I think. Didn't need to go across there.
Yeah, and it didn't need to be, even if she was going to go cross court, it didn't need to be that tight to the net, and it would have been a winner.
Tried to do it again and opened her own court up. It's 2 mistakes here. Totally exposed her partner there.
Oh, now a run of 3 straight points for the Malaysians. Takes them back into the lead.
Yeah, and you have to say 3 straight mistakes from Awanda, which she's been the steadier one of the 2 throughout this match so far.
Service over.
That's a nice shot though again. Didn't try to hit it too hard, guided it down the line. See here, there, just guided and controlled it. Lovely control of the racket head with the hand there.
Yeah, right into that back. Deep corner. It's now on perfection. Yeah, that was nice from Winky Way.
Service over. 10, 9.
Oh, off the top of the table. It's going wide. Well, Awanda did awfully well there to readjust after that huge deflection off the net cord. So this point is going to decide who has the advantage at the change of ends in this third and deciding game. it is, the
Service
Malaysians.
over, 11-10, interval, change end.
No, I'm not sure 1 point makes a lot of difference, but it makes a huge psychological difference, doesn't it? But of course, for the Indonesians, they've got to draw heart from the fact that they won the second game, which is the end of the court that they're finishing this match. 50 minutes of play.
Court 1, 20
And it could
seconds.
not be closer
Court 1,
at a change of
20
ends
seconds.
in a deciding game. It's got to be at least 1 point in it.
Thank
That's
you
all there
for
is.
support. Ready to play. 11-10. Play. Service over. 11 on.
Well, it goes back to your point that you made right at the start, Ian, about who's going to handle the pressure better. Malaysians, obviously, last remaining home players in this year's tournament. Huge pressure on them. They'll, of course, be expected to win, but they're much higher ranked than and much more experienced than their opponents. But will the sort of excitement of being so close to recording another very good win hamper perhaps those final few
12,
points from
11.
the Indonesians?
Yeah, they're both under pressure, aren't they? I mean, the Malaysian pair clearly showed signs of pressure at the end of the second game. I think they had a couple of good opportunities to maybe get away the second half of that second game and didn't take them, made a couple of errors. But, I mean, how will the Indonesians deal with it when they get close as well? So this is really, really interesting now to see who's going to deal with this situation the best.
Service over. 12 on.
Yeah, good rotational play. Oh, brilliant! Wonderful!
13-12.
Well, always makes for good rallies when you've got good defence and good attack. Look at that. Kept the rally going when they had no right whatsoever, the Indonesians. Look at that defence. But all credit to Woon Ki-wei, who kept the pressure on, stood her ground at the front of the court.
That's a big error, I have to say.
12.
There was actually a lot of space down the centre there. Could have played the percentage play, get a partner into the net position. Guilty there of forcing it and making the error.
Service over. 13, 14.
Oh, vicious neck cord.
Again, she was looking for that push down the middle, wasn't she? Had some success with in the second game. Very fortunate with the net cord.
On.
I don't dare make a prediction.
No, it's a tough one to call.
It is, isn't it?
No, I wouldn't be putting a lot of money on it either way, I don't think.
No. That's a good serve.
Well, I just think for the Malaysians, those are good points to win from defence there. Keeping it very solid, playing good percentage, playing the rally out, good patience. I'm afraid it probably is going to be decided by the pair that makes the least errors at the moment. That looks the way it's going at the moment.
Yeah, I like that attack.
15 on.
Awanda, we talked about one of her shots in the earlier stages of this where she, it was really a drive shot, but she kept it straight down the line. And she's got that slight turn of the racket head, not a full reverse slice, but just enough to keep the shuttles straight down the line. And I really do like that.
Service over. 16-15.
Yeah, big deep breath from Ketut. That's a sign of nerves, isn't it? Oh, return of serve going up to the left-hander's forehand. Well worked rally.
Typical of this match. We get one good rally. And then the previous point was a big error. I mean, it's who can hold it together at the moment. We've got four very nervous players on court at the moment. They can all see the prize. They're very, very close to it. It's who can keep their focus.
Well, it's interesting. Well, we were looking at that again. The Indonesians asked to towel down, and the umpire said no. And that was right to say no. Oh, that's super shot.
Service over. 17-15.
Again, I like that. Didn't force the play. Didn't try and hit it hard. Saw the space. Blocked it off. Nice play. And you can see the reaction, how much it means to them.
Yeah.
They're really desperate to win this one, aren't they? Look at this reaction afterwards.
Oh, goodness me. Suddenly, Ketut
Service over.
dashing forward to the nets. Wonderful pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the court will need to be mopped, and therefore the players can now have a quick towel down, take on board some liquid. There's the drive defence, and look how she went forward. That's very well finished off as well.
It was really good doubles. As soon as she saw it went past the front court player, there, she steps in. And that's really good.
Now, finely poised. This last 16 women's doubles, 1 game all, 17 all.
Play. You want to change? Play.
Good control. What a rally. Oh, it's gone wide.
Oh, good play from Hoon again, getting in, getting control of that net area, getting the shuttle going down.
Whoa. Whoa. Is. Yes. Change quickly.
We'll see it here, how she steps in after the block there, gets the shuttle going down, puts the pressure on her opponents. Again, really emotional reaction to winning that point.
Yes, just wants to try out the new racket. There was a heavy clash of rackets between the two Malaysian players in the early stages of that rally.
Who?
Now the Malaysians a little confused as to retying the knee bandage. Yeah, you can just see a glimpse of the strapping on the right leg that I was talking about a little earlier. Oh, listen to the fans. Oh!
Well, again, Hoon stepping up to the mark there. That was a great cross-court defence in the middle of that rally, and again she's looking to move forward after it and get control of that front court. We just missed the cross there, but here she goes, going forward. She's been really positive on that front court at a critical time of the match.
Yeah.
That's good.
2 points away from a second quarter-final here at their home event. Oh, what a return of serve.
7 over.
How good was that?
19.
There's no margin in that one.
Unbelievable. That's a sensational return.
Thank you.
What's the serve then, Jill? Short or flick?
Oh, crikey.
Critical point.
Yeah.
Has she got the nerve? The option is short, really. She needs to go short, but has she got the confidence?
Oh, what defence. Well, the answer to the question is she didn't have the nerve for the low serve, but it was incredible defence. It's gone wide.
7 over. 20. Match point.
And after an hour and 5 minutes, the Malaysian pair of Woon Ki-wei and Vivian, who have 2 match point opportunities. Oh, indecision. Oh, well, they might as well challenge, surely.
Challenge.
Well, the match to the Malaysians, and I cannot believe that the Indonesians didn't challenge that. Clearly, they've never played with the instant review system in place.
Match won by Vivian Ken Moon-Ho and Ken Wen-Woon. 21-9, 18-21.
Yeah,
21,
it was
18.
in. Looking at it again, no question. And the smiles for the Malaysians and the cheer from the fans. I can't really remember when the Malaysian fans got so involved with the women's doubles. It's tremendous because now Vivian Hu and Woon Ki-wei are through to the quarter-final of the Malaysian Super Series 3 years after they first reached the quarter-final. Their confirmation of the score, 21-9, 18-21, 21-18 in an hour and 5 minutes.
Four.
Oh, indecision.
Yeah, that's good.